family at Iridium, album review time. Robin McAuley, Standing on the Edge. So, man, I've been looking forward to this album. Probably out of the releases to yesterday that came out, May the 7th, this is the one I've really been looking forward to because I've been so impressed with the singles so far. So, Frontiers, obviously, got hold of this one. So, this is a great album, man. I had an album earlier on, Todd Michael Hall, that I said it surprised me the most, where it was fantastic, where I didn't know what to expect. Now, I've expected a lot of this one, and it's exceeded my expectations. It's absolutely brilliant, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So you've got Robin McAuley on vocals, just run through the band. Andrea Cerveso on guitar, Alessandro Del Vecchio on bass and keys. So influential and caught up in nearly all the Frontiers projects. You know, he's involved in a lot. Nicholas Papapillo, drums. Howard Lessay on guitar on one of the tracks, only track 8. Now, Macaulay's vocals are fantastic. He's one of them wonders of the world, you know what I mean? He's singing great all the way through his career. Sounds exactly the same as he did. Absolutely brilliant. And I always thought when he went into bands, including the Michael Schenker group, I always thought he improved those bands and made them better because of his vocals. This is an outstanding performance from him. Black Swan was an outstanding performance. I think that was last year. But I prefer this. This is more me. Black Swan was great, but you know, the bluesy stuff was a bit too much for me sometimes, although I thought it was brilliant. But this is right up my street, this album. Absolutely excellent. The guitaring in this, man, I love it. You know, there's some Lynch inspired stuff, some Dokken stuff here, but it's not all about that. Now, when I first heard the 2 singles, for me, they've sounded very Dokken-y, especially the riffs, and I thought, is it going to follow that sort of thing all the way through? No, it's not. So what you get is variety all over this album, but the guitaring is absolutely excellent. Brilliant guitar work. Of course, Alessandro Del Vecchio is just amazing. Does the bass on this, so he does a great job on that. And I don't know, he's probably had some hand in the songwriting, but he is fantastic. Nicholas Papillo on drums, does a great job. And like I said, Howard Lessay or Less on guitar on track 8. So, like I said, what you get on this album, and I always worry with some releases now that they're a bit formulaic and you're going to hear the same sort of thing. This is completely the opposite. What you get here is you get those 2 singles that they fitted very well, and I thought, oh, it could all be like that. But I'm hoping it's not. I hope we hear something different as well, and that you do all the way through this. There's loads of different styles, but not always. It's always fitting in that melodic hard rock genre. So we're not talking, you know, they're not going to do drum and bass and then thrash metal. It's just, it fits in perfectly in that hard rock, AOR, melodic sort of style that I knew it would be, but it's not formulaic. You get a lot of changes within the songs, a lot of different sounding stuff, but it's all, like I said, don't be put off. It's all in that melodic hard rock genre. A lot of variety, basically. So, absolutely fantastic record. This, like I said, has exceeded my expectations without a doubt. So, track 1, Thy Will Be Done. Great classic metal riff kicking it off with keys as well. So you get a lot of keyboards on this album, but the guitar is at the forefront with those keyboards basically backing it up and giving it a fuller sound and giving it that 80s AOR hard rock feel. So brilliant 80s inspired chorus on this, and the first of many amazing solos as well. Great song to kick it off with. Next song is Standing on the Edge. Man, what a great first single. The best Dokken riff for years that is not actually Dokken, obviously. I mean, if Dokken brought out an album and had this song on it, it sounded anything like this, they would be falling over themselves. They would be ecstatic. It is absolutely fantastic. I know it's got Dokken vibes. I'm sure Robin McAuley knows that. I'm sure Alessandro Del Vecchio knows that. But it has got those vibes, but it still stands on its own, obviously. So Standing on the Edge is a great track. Late December is next. This harks right back to the glory days of AOR melodic rock. Not quite a ballad, because we've got one of those later, but could have been a massive hit, like on MTV or whatever. It would have been. It really would have been a great song, Late December. Do You Remember's next. Now, this has a feel like you would hear like a late 70s band. It has a real, this is where we're getting the, you know, the slight differences between the songs. It's because it's a real fun song, but it's got an 80s inspired feel because of the melodic nature of it. You know, where the 70s lacked melody sometimes, the 80s made up for that. So this has got a mixture. Next up is Say Goodbye, the second single. I love that. I even love it more than the first single, Standing on the Edge. I did a reaction to that as well. Again, a slightly Dokken-esque sort of inspired riff. Great chorus. This is a brilliant song. Check it out. Say Goodbye. So next up, track 6, we have got Chosen Few. Another slightly 70s inspired thing going on. And remember, all these songs have got melody, harmonies, hooks running all the way through them. So it's not like you're hearing a 70s rock song without all that. It's a really clever mixture of both decades. That's what you get. Such a cool summer song, Chosen Few. It's a real top-down driving song. Next up is Runaway, the ballad of the album. Ballad, proper ballad. Acoustic guitar with keys and McAuley's amazing vocals over that. I love it. You know, sometimes when you hear that, just a vocal and an acoustic guitar and a little bit of keys, it just shows you, I mean, you've got to be a good vocalist to do that and sound as good as Robin McAuley does. Huge sounding song. Great solo. The solos in here, they just what they're meant to do. They're meant to be melodic, not stay too long. Just support the song rather than go off on a tangent of mental guitar solos. It's exactly what it does on this song. It's exactly what it does throughout the album. Next up, Supposed to Do Now. Another sort of slightly 70s inspired, a little bluesy, but only slightly. So we're not talking blues here, we're talking a slightly bluesy feel. It's sort of clever really, because it makes it hard to pinpoint on this song especially what it is actually is. It's got that slightly, like I said, bluesy feel, but it's not blues. Very clever, very catchy in its own brilliant way, that one. Supposed to Do Now. Love it. Next up is Wanna Take a Ride. Do you wanna take a ride? Do you wanna take a ride? Wanna take a ride with me? This is the third single. I think it got released, like, you know, yesterday when the album came out. Real AOR West Coast feel to this. Absolutely great. Keys, this is one of my favourite songs actually. Keys used throughout the song, but are in a really good way, giving it that fullness, you know. I think this is the most accessible song. This is the song where if it came on the TV or the radio, everyone would like it. It's really accessible. No matter what sort of genre of music you're into, you would find something in there you like. Great song. Next up is Like a Ghost. Bit of Hammond organ in this one, so I'm not a Hammond organ fan, but it doesn't sort of overpower everything. You know, it's just there. It's got that, gives it that 70s feel again. This has though, and I love Foreigner, it has a real Foreigner feel to me, especially in the verses. It really does. It's a great song. Just leave out the Hammond organ next time. Anyway, next up, Running Out of Time. Closing off with a real rocker. Again, sort of 70s feel, but with the 80s melodies. Very clever all the way through this, that they've taken those decades, transported you back a little bit. But remember, it's got that modern production. And I know people sort of get the ump because we always say about 80s. But I want to give people an idea of what you're going to get. So a lot of people watch this channel love the 80s. They love the late 70s. They love the 80s. So I'm telling you now, if you love the 80s and you loved the glory days of heavy rock, melodic hard rock, get this album. You will not be disappointed, and an absolutely brilliant solo album. I'm not sure if this is the first solo album Robin McAuley's brought out, but I'd love to hear some more. It's great to hear someone just, you know, doing what they want, giving the fans what they want. And you know what? It's like that. It's like he's thought to himself, I want to do something that really, what the fans will want. That they will want something that's so melodic, that harks back with all these great melodic choruses and harmonies. That's what you get. You really get that. A brilliant, brilliant album. Let me know what you think of the Robin McAuley album, Standing on the Edge, in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.